and I would take some of that money that we're wasting, and I would use it to fix our income tax code. I want to create more opportunities for Virginia's families by fixing that broken income tax code, which recently the Tax Foundation came out with rankings for this year, and Virginia was ranked 40th in the nation on the income tax. It was called out as something that was slowing down our economic growth, and there's no question that it's out of whack. We have a top rate that starts at only about $17,000 per year. That's barely above the poverty line, and it's very discouraging to somebody who's just starting out in their career or in a new business, that maybe they're not making that much money and they're facing such a high tax burden. Somebody who makes $30,000 here in Virginia is paying more than twice as much in state income tax as they would pay in California, which is a very high tax state. And that's why I would exempt the first $60,000 of household income from the state income tax. That's a savings of $3,000 a year for the average family here in Virginia that they could use to pay off student debt or a car loan or save for a down payment, to invest in themselves, their businesses, their children's education, in their communities. And there's other issues that we have here in Virginia with regulations. I talk to small business owners all around the state, and I ask them, how they're doing, what's the biggest problem that they face, and they always talk about these regulations that we have here in Virginia that don't seem to serve any purpose but to hinder competition, to disadvantage small business owners compared to the big businesses. A lot of these regulations were written by big businesses. I talk a lot about the food and drink establishments, which are becoming huge in Virginia. They're about to surpass manufacturing in terms of number of Virginians who are employed. And there's all these kind of arcane rules and regulations, like a bar, they have to sell 45% of their revenue has to come from the sale of food, and breweries are only allowed to attend a certain number of special events each year, things that don't seem to serve any useful purpose, but they're real burden on businesses. And a lot of times people say, well, this seems like sort of a minor thing, but there's so many of them. And one example that I like to give is breweries. Just 4 years ago, they were not permitted to sell beers at